think when a bit of gear's got a great character, those things don't get forgotten. Once you've heard it, you don't forget it.
It gives you this really sort of musical assistant, if you like, and you one click and it's there. It's exactly right. I'm Sean McGee. I'm a mastering engineer at Abbey Road Studios, and we are in mastering room 5.
I'm a recording engineer and mixer here at Abbey Road, working with bands and artists, big film scores, sort of stuff that we record in Studio 1 where we are here today.
We're here to talk about the TG mastering console. Do you remember the first time you ever encountered the TG mastering console?
Yeah, my very first day here, actually. I got taken round all the rooms, and the room I ended up working in, which was room 6, the centre part of the room was the TG desk.
What is it about the TG? What makes it so special?
I think a lot of it, initially, is that desk was used on records that I own. My desk was Harry Moss's desk, and Harry Moss mastered Dark Side of the Moon, or various other Pink Floyd stuff that he did. Oh my God, it's the desk. I want to be going through the same copper and the same resistors and the same capacitors as that.
I think it's pretty common here at Abbey Road over the years for various toys from the mastering department upstairs to find their way down here in the studios. And the TG is no exception. So here we are, 2018. The TG gear just seems to continue being used again and again and again. There's obviously lots of other bits of gear out there. Why do you think that is with TG?
I think when a bit of gear's got a great character, those things don't get forgotten. So maybe fashions changed, and maybe there was a period of 80s and stuff. Everyone was getting a bit excited about clean digital recordings and all that stuff, and maybe they were less used then. But you're right, in recent years, just people come back to this stuff because it sounds ridiculous, but they do have soul and they do have a great character.
You have the input unit, which in this room has changed, which basically allows you to set the inputs from the various machines. So there's 4 settings, so you can have 4 different sources. There's the EQ, the 12412. There's the presence filter, which has the high and the low pass, as well as another extra EQ in the middle. And there's the compressor limiters with the spreader, which I use all the time. All the knobs here, you don't have to put your fingers around. You haven't got to have knee fingers to try and get around them, sort of thing. There's space there, and you can see what's going on, and that's more important than anything else. And there's a fader, big, giant fader, and great big meters.
Yeah. Lovely,
great big meters that you can see from the other room without glasses on.
Yeah.
It's the thing that I see the TG gear having as a really strong character. So I use the compressor limiter. I'm not going to say numbers because I can't remember them, but the compressor limiter you see behind me and the EQ, I use quite a lot in both recording and mixing. For a long time, I used the EQ as a master bus across my stereo mix bus thing, and I'd have that for kind of the broader strokes and maybe another more refined EQ if you want to do like half a dB here and there. So I definitely would use it for that kind of situation. And then the limiter and the compressor is, I think, a much bolder bit of kit. The sort of thing, if you really want to get some aggression into, then that's kind of when I reach for that. When you really want to get something pumping, hitting the limiter really hard, the very fast release is, an amazing sound.
Do you use the spreader much?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, on a plate return or something like that. Great to bring it a bit wider. It's a slightly dangerous tool. You can sometimes get a bit overzealous with that spreading the width thing, and then you think, oh, this is great, and then you come back to something and it just sounds, sort of too wide beyond the speakers and phasey. But used in subtle applications, maybe if you've got a guitar with a pair of close mics and a pair of ambient mics, you might just try making the ambient ones a bit wider, those kind of things. When I think of using that in recording, it's for the less subtle applications, but that's what I'm often striving for, is to find something with a great character and how you can use that in a mix or how you can use that in recording. Once you've heard it, you don't forget it. It leads you to certain places, and they always end up being good places, so I love that about it. I mean, the fact that a console sold this year or last year for £1.4 million or whatever just shows you what value people put on these things, because they still sound great. So I guess that's why we continue using them.